Hey everyone, it's Lene. Today is Wednesday, December 19th, 2018. This is a holiday edition life update video. So, I am less than 48 hours away from starting my Christmas vacation officially. I'm really excited, but a little nervous too, but more on that later. I've been under a good bit of stress and anxiety lately. So much so that I thought that it would be a good idea to try something to relieve a good bit of my stress and anxiety. So what did I do, you ask? Well, I took a trip down to my local dispensary and I bought some edibles for the first time. Let me show you. So right here we have some gummies, green tea mango flavored, and 2 chocolate chip cookie bars, which are really good. They were quite expensive. For those of you who don't know, cannabis is legal here in Colorado. But I don't smoke, so I thought it would be a good idea to try out edibles. So initially, I started out with 2 gummies. They were pretty good. Once I got home, which was maybe about 20 or 30 minutes after, I decided to try half of one of the chocolate chip cookie bars, and it was really good. Not bad at all. So good, in fact, that I decided to eat a second half, which equals 1 bar. 1 bar contains 5 milligrams of THC. As for the gummies, 2 gummies is equivalent to 5 milligrams of THC. So altogether, that's 10 milligrams of THC that I consumed that afternoon, which didn't really sound like a lot to me. I felt fine, a little more mellow, of course, which was what I was going for. Then, about an hour later, I started thinking about crazy, funny stuff. Funny enough that I started to laugh uncontrollably, and I fell onto my bed laughing. It felt good, actually. I hadn't laughed like this since I was a kid, so it was a good release for me. One of the things that I thought about, that day I got a package in the mail, which was a pair of padded underwear that I ordered to enhance my posterior. I had this crazy vision in my head of being at home for the holidays, visiting my parents at their house. I'm in the kitchen, cooking breakfast, and my dad walks in. He says good morning. I say good morning. Then he looks at me and looks down, then looks at me again, then looks down. He pulls up the back of my shirt, slaps me on the butt, and then gives it a squeeze. And he looks at me and he asks, "What in the world are you wearing?" And I just started cracking up. It was so funny. God forbid that actually happens while I'm there, but yeah, it was funny to me, so I was laughing. And I was also laughing about Donald Trump, the fact that he's even president. And if you like Trump, that's okay. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. There are some things that I agree with Trump on. There's a lot that I don't agree with him on, but, you know, at the end of the day, we can all learn from each other, whether we like or dislike each other. I realized that I can actually learn more from people who I disagree with. This happened a few times. I started thinking about random funny things. And once again, I would start laughing. I even decided to practice one of my songs that I was working on. And while I was playing keyboard actually, it felt really trippy. Kind of good, but then again, a little weird. Time was going by really fast. It had already been about 2.5 to 3 hours since I ate that first gummy. I started feeling unfocused, lightheaded, withdrawn. So I thought to myself, hey, maybe I'm just hungry. Maybe I need to go upstairs and make dinner. So I did that. And as I was cutting a tomato for my salad, I felt like my hand-eye coordination was off. And I was being extra careful to make sure I didn't cut one of my fingers. It was a pretty dull knife. So while I'm sitting down having dinner that evening, I felt really bad. I wasn't feeling any better after eating. And as I was eating, all I really wanted to do was fall asleep. This was really beginning to scare me. I thought maybe the medications that I'm currently on were both having a reaction with the edibles that I had earlier. As the minutes passed, I began feeling worse. Honestly, I thought that I was going to die because of a drug interaction or an overdose. I felt like maybe there was a chance that I wasn't going to make it and that I could soon become a goner. I know this all sounds pretty crazy, but this is how I was feeling at the time. I began praying to God that He would heal me, help me get well again. All the while, I'm forcing myself to stay awake and try to eat dinner. So I went online and I did a little research on HRT and cannabis. And all of the articles that I read, all of the information that I got from it, was that it was perfectly fine and that within a few hours I would be okay. But I was still worried because each person is different, and it didn't mention anything about an alleged overdose. At this point, I was feeling so bad that I couldn't finish my dinner, so I had to put it away in the refrigerator and finish it later. All I wanted to do was fall asleep, so I did exactly that. So there I was, in my bed, high as a kite, scared out of my mind, not knowing whether or not I would wake up come morning time. By the grace of God, I woke up early that morning because I had to work. I felt better, and I felt more in tune with my body and my mind. Never again do I want to experience such an awful feeling. It was probably one of the worst feelings that I've felt in a long time. I haven't had any more edibles since last Friday when I bought them. I don't know if I will try it again. This came up last night at support group and I mentioned it to everyone, and they told me that I had consumed too much, that my body wasn't accustomed to having cannabis in my system. That's why I felt the way that I did. There wasn't really an interaction with the medications that I'm on, which is a relief. One of the girls there told me that she smokes pot frequently, and after a few hours she feels fine. So, Christmas vacation is almost here for me. I'm really excited. But I mentioned, yes, I am a little nervous too about everything. There's no place like home for the holidays, right? So I'll be leaving this Friday for Florida. My parents live there. I haven't seen them in a year now. I don't know if I've changed a lot since then. I personally don't feel like I have, physically. But for someone who hasn't seen me in a year, they might think differently, I don't know. But being around family has been on my mind a lot. I wonder, how will they react towards me? Because while I'm there, I'll be in vacation mode the whole time. I don't want to have to worry about, I guess, hiding who I truly am and always having that on my mind, whether or not, it's just been a lot to deal with. It really has, a lot to have on my mind. But while I'm there, I'm looking forward to spending time with my family. I usually take a trip up to Savannah, Savannah, Georgia, which is a really nice town, by the way. If you're into old architecture and great seafood and shops and being on the water, I think you'd like Savannah. There's a lot of history there, too. A lot of great tours in that small city. Really, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think my vacation's going to be fun, and there's really no reason to be nervous about anything. Christmas time can be a tough time for a lot of us out there. It can easily take its toll on someone. Maybe you're thinking about coming out to family and friends over the holidays. Maybe you've already lost friends and family as a result of being your authentic self. Whatever you might be going through this year, just know that things are going to get better for you. If you need support, please don't hesitate to seek it out. You can reach out to me as well. I'm no professional, but I'll do whatever I can to try to help you along. A lot of us try to make things perfect at Christmas time, whether or not you celebrate Christmas. I find myself doing that a lot. This time, I'm going to become more present in the moment and not try to plan everything out in order for things to be perfect, but at the same time to enjoy being present in the moment. This might be my last video for this year. But let me tell you, this year has been one heck of a year for me. There have been things in my life that haven't made any sense to me for a long time now. And this year they became clear to me, and I realized who I really am and who I want to be. I'd like to wish you and yours a happy holiday season, or Merry Christmas if you do celebrate Christmas, and a Happy New Year. To all a good evening, God bless, and don't be a stiff.